With 40 years since Alton Towers was first classified as a theme park, there have been many things that have come and gone from the towers, from starting off as a family home to one of the most well-known theme parks in the world. It's time to explore its history. Welcome to Alton Towers, the tale of the towers. Starting in the 1950s, parts of the Alton Towers grounds were open to the public. This included the gardens, which are still accessible to the public to this day. Alton Towers proved very popular to the public, so the decision was made to start evolving the site to offer more attractions. Throughout the 1960s and 70s, more of the grounds were made accessible to the public, and the first signs of a theme park started to appear, with installations such as a boating lake, chairlift, and a small fair behind the tower's ruins. Some work on the towers also took place due to its Grade 2 listing. Over the next few years, foundation was laid for the future theme park by installing a variety of permanent rides. The first major step Alton Towers took to becoming a full theme park was the installation of the corkscrew coaster in 1980. The year also saw the installation of a pirate ship and an alpine bobsled ride. 1981 saw more development on the site, including a new log flume for the park. Multiple attractions were also installed leading up to the 1990s when the Tussauds Group took ownership of the towers. The Tussauds Group invested heavily in the theme park, as well as the theme park finally becoming a resort when they opened the Alton Towers Hotel in 1996. The Tussauds Group brought many world-class attractions to the United Kingdom, such as Nemesis. In 2005, Alton Towers was once again changed its ownership. The park was bought by Merlin Entertainment, who still owns the park up until this day. But as for the resort, what opened and when? Let's take a detailed look into all the rides and attractions that have opened at the Alton Towers Resort in its 40 years history. Between 1920 and leading up to 1980, Alton Towers saw minor investments. These attractions were brought to the resort to increase attendance and attract new customers. Let's see all the rides that opened during this time frame. These are all the attractions that led up to Alton Towers' classification as a theme park in 1980. Opening in 1920, the rowing boats was an extremely popular attraction at the towers. The boats would utilise the lake in front of the towers and have a variety of different boat designs over the years it operated. These included rowing boats, motorboats, Red Indian canoes and splash cats. The attraction operated for the final time in 1996. Originally being used for the coal mining industry in the 1920s, the park opened the shuttle railway in 1953. It transported people between the Chinese temple in the gardens to now what is known as Mutiny Bay. Just like the rowing boats, this proved to be a very popular attraction with the public. The railway operated up until 1996 and was removed from the park in 2000. This attraction was the first to be located in the towers. Opening in 1957, the model railway consisted of over 30 locomotives and 200 items of rolling stock. There was also a total track length of over 500 metres, and it took up over an area of 816 metres squared. It took over 2.5 years to construct, and the model railway closed its doors in 1992, but was removed in 1993 when the chapel at the park was being refurbished. The model railway was then later sold at an auction. Before the modern day cable cars that operate at the resort today, these cable cars opened in 1963 and were opened to help relieve pressure off the already popular Park Railway. There were 16 cabins which were able to accommodate around 1,000 people per hour up until 1986 when the attraction closed. Opening in the 1980s, this was the last attraction that the tower saw before becoming recognised as a theme park. However, this ride did not last long. The ride closed just 6 years later in 1986 due to large queues and safety risks. The ride was also not very reliable, and guests would not be able to ride in rain due to the bobsleds navigating the course too quickly. From 1980, Alton Towers had enough attractions to be classified as a theme park. This is when Alton Towers began to see much bigger investment into the park and its path to being one of the most well-known theme parks in the world. In this section, we will cover all the rides that have come to Alton Towers since it was officially classified as a theme park. All the roller coasters in this section will be covered in more detail later in this documentary. Starting in 1980, the Towers saw 3 major attractions added to the park. This included the Tower's first major roller coaster, Corkscrew. This year also saw the addition of a pirate ship and Cine 2000. It also saw the removal of donkey rides. With the success of Corkscrew in the previous year, the Tower saw a huge increase in attendance. This helped to bring several new attractions for 1981. This saw the additions of Wild Water Flume, Around the World in 80 Days, Top Lot Theatre, Adventure Railway and Junior Flyer. This year saw some minor additions to the park, which included one of the Tower's first intellectual properties, Thunderbird Space 1999. This year also saw the addition of Cine 360, a mini apple coaster. The Wild Water Flume was also renamed to the Log Flume during this year. Just like in 1982, there were only some minor additions to the Towers. This saw the addition of Space Boat, Mini Travelling Coaster and a vintage car ride. This year also saw the removal of Space Boat, although it is unclear why this attraction was removed. However, it is believed that the attraction was removed due to the tower's tree height limit restrictions. This year also saw the removal of Dinosaur Land. After 4 years without another coaster, it was finally time for Alton Towers to get another large investment. This year saw the opening of Black Hole, Enterprise, Octopus and Turbo Star. Several attractions also received updates in this year. It was only a year since the opening of the Black Hole, but Alton Towers decided to make another ride of the similar style. But this one was not covered up in a tent. This saw the addition of 4-Man Bob to the resort. This year also saw the addition of 1001 Nights and a Ferris wheel. After 2 new coasters in the past few years at the park, smaller investments were added to the towers in 1986. This included Tower Street, Kiddy's Kingdom, Grand Canyon Rapids and the Spider. This year also saw the removal of several attractions, including the cable car, Alpine bobsleigh and the Ferris wheel. This was a year full of transport at the towers, with the addition of both the monorail and the Skyride at the resort. This year also saw other small investments like the Teacup ride and an open air theatre. This year also saw the removal of Cine 360 and the planetarium. The Black Hole clearly proved a popular attraction for the towers, as they would install another similar attraction to it in this year called the Alton Beast. This year also saw the opening of Alton Mouse and the 3D cinema. The Black Hole was also re-profiled and received new cars this year. Small improvements were made to the towers during this year, including the addition of Britannia Farm, Canal Boat Ride and Laser Adventure Show. This year also saw the removal of Turbo Star, and the open air theatre received a dome and was renamed to Festival Park Dome. The 1990s started strong, with Alton Towers acquiring new owners who were known as the Two Stars Group. The year also saw the addition of Thunder Looper and Gravitron. This year was also the year in which Foreman Bob and Thunderbird Space 1999 were removed from the park. 1991 was another quiet year for the towers with the addition of TriStar and Gallopers Carousel. It also saw many removals including Alton Mouse, the Spider and Blue Carousel. 1992 was a major change-up for the towers. It saw the addition of new lands including Gloomy Wood, Catania Canyon and Thunder Valley. It also saw several new attractions and many attractions leaving the park. A lot of the attractions were also moved around the park. The new additions for this year included the Haunted House and a Runaway Mine Train. The year mainly saw the removal of several attractions including TriStar, Cine 2000, Gravitron, Octopus, Adventure Railway and the Model Railway. Alton Beast was renamed the Beast and the Beastie was relocated to Thunder Valley. After a year of several removals at the park, 1993 followed the trend of removing attractions. This included the removal of Around the World in 80 Days and Adventure Playground. Minor additions were also added to the towers during this year, including the Land of Make-Believe. This would prove to be Alton Towers' biggest year yet. The year would earn Alton Towers a reputation of being a world-class theme park. It saw the new land of Forbidden Valley and the first inverted coaster in Europe, Nemesis. Its opening was also complemented by a new dark ride, Toyland Tours. The year also saw the removal of 1001 Nights and the Aquarium. Due to the huge investment in 1994, minor improvements were made to the towers in 1995. This included the addition of Energizer and Old MacDonald's Tractor Ride. This year also saw the removal of Kiddy's Kingdom and the Doll's House. During this year, there was still high demand for the tower's new coaster. So once again, only minor investments were made into the park. This included Storybook Land, Adventureland, the Squirrel Nutty Ride, and Old MacDonald's Singing Barn. This year also saw the removal of some attractions at the park, including Thunder Looper, the Land of Make-Believe, Park Railway, and the Magic Theatre. This year also saw the opening of the Alton Towers Hotel, officially making the theme park into a resort. 1997 saw additions for both thrill seekers and kids. It saw the addition of Ripsaw and the new land of Cred Street, which included Nickelodeon Out of Control. This year also saw the removal of the Beast and the Mini Apple Coaster. The pirate ship was also renamed the Blade, and Beastie was relocated to Adventureland. 1998 would be another year where Alton Towers would prove themselves as a world-class theme park with the world's first vertical drop roller coaster. This would be known as Oblivion. The attraction was located in the new land of X Sector. This year also saw the removal of Festival Park, Nickelodeon Out of Control, and Festival Park Dome. Black Hole was also updated to fit the new theme of X Sector, and Enterprise was also relocated into X Sector. 1999 saw smaller investments due to Oblivion's opening in the previous year. It also saw the addition of Bugland and Froghopper. Corkscrew was rethemed to the new area of Bugland, and the year also saw the removal of Crown Carousel. It was the start of a brand new century, the 2000s. The park introduced one of their best dark rides to date, Hex, the Legend of the Towers. Hex tells the tale of a curse put on the Earl of Shrewsbury and the legend of a trained oak tree. The year also saw the removal of Dino Dancer. This year saw the addition of Submission in X Sector. Minimal improvements were made into the park this year, and small attractions were removed like Adventureland play equipment. "2002 was the year in which Alton Towers were determined to prove that humans could fly. This year saw the addition of the first Bolliger and Mabillard flying coaster, called Air. This attraction was located in Forbidden Valley, where it can still be found today as Galactica. 2003 mainly saw updates to existing attractions and the removal of others. This year saw the removal of Dynamo, Bone Shaker and the Swan boats. The Haunted House was also rethemed in this year to Duel, the Haunted House Strikes Back. Duel would combine the Haunted House and a competitive laser shooting game, becoming one of the most favourite dark rides at the resort. In addition, the Congo River Rapids also received new boats. 2004 saw a new large addition for the towers, Spinball Whistler. The 3D cinema closed this year, as well as Log Flume being rethemed to the Flume Unplugged. Alton Towers were not stopping yet. 2005 saw the addition of Rita, Queen of Speed. This would be the only addition to the towers for the year, as it would mainly see several removals. This included Black Hole, Toyland Tours and Vintage Car Ride. Alton Towers was also purchased by its present-day owner, Merlin Entertainments, after they acquired the Two Swords Group. 2006 saw yet another intellectual property for the towers, in the replacement to Toyland Tours, which closed in the year prior. This would see the new ride to be known as Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It also saw the retheme of some of the Cred Street into another IP, the Tweenies. 2007 was a pretty stagnant year for the towers. Minor improvements were made to the resort, as well as some attractions receiving some small updates. The year also saw the removal of Merry England and the addition of Haunted Hollow. 2008 saw the addition of several new attractions and a new area targeted towards kids, Mutiny Bay. The land also saw the addition of Hevo and Battle Galleons. The year also saw one of the biggest removals of towers. After 28 years of operation, Corkscrew was removed from the resort. The year also saw the removal of Cred Street. This year saw Cloud Cuckoo Land in replacement to Cred Street. It also saw the removal of Ugland and the retheme of several Cred Street attractions to fit in with the new Cloud Cuckoo Land theming. It also saw the addition of Sharkbait Reef in Mutiny Bay. Towers would once again want to make a good start to the decade. They introduced a new themed area of Dark Forest and a new family roller coaster with a twist. This would be known as 13. The year also saw the closure of the Beastie, and Rita dropped its title of Queen of Speed and became known as just Rita. It was also matched to the new Dark Forest theming. Spinball Whistler was also rethemed into Sonic Spinball after acquiring a partnership with Sega. Minor improvements happened to the towers during this year. There was an addition of a show to Cloud Cuckoo Land and new additions to Sharkbait Reef. Cloud Cuckoo Land Theatre was also updated to become a 4D cinema. Alton Towers wanted to extend the story of Nemesis with the addition of Nemesis Subterra. The year also saw the addition of Cloud Cuckoo Land Theatre, which showed Ice Age 4D experience. Alton Towers were once again ready to prove their innovation and increase their status as a world-class theme park. This year was where they saw their most innovative coaster yet. This would be known as the Smiler. This was the world's first 14 inversion roller coaster and still holds the record to this date. The year also saw the removal of Storybook Land, Submission, Old MacDonald's Farmyard, and several other attractions. 2014 was the first time we saw a good themed area towards kids. Although it was another intellectual property for the towers, 2014 saw the opening of CBeebies Land. Opening day attractions in this land included Postman Pat's Parcel Post, Charlie's and Lola's Moon Squirters and Green Drops, Frou-Frou's Tom's Training Camp, Something Special Sensory Garden, Mr. Bloom's Allotment, Nina's Science Lab, Big Fun Showtime, and CBeebies Land Photo Studio. It also saw the retheme of River I Spy into the Night Garden Magical Boat Ride and several other existing attractions in the area to fit the new CBeebies theming. CBeebies Land proved a massive success for Alton Towers Resort, so it wasn't long before receiving its first expansion in 2015 with the opening of Octonauts Roller Coaster. This year also saw the closure of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory The Ride, The Flume, Ripsaw, Wobble World, and Nemesis Subterra. The 2016 season saw the addition of Alton Towers Full Restaurant, Roller Coaster Restaurant. This year we also saw the retheme of Air Intergalactica, and Sonic Spinball returned to its Spinball Wizard theming. Hex was also closed for the season for an annual refurbishment. This year saw another addition to CBeebies Land, Go Jetter's Rooms to Zoom Ride. It also saw the removal of Twirling Toadstool, and Hex also reopened with its new refurbishments. It had been 5 years since Alton Towers opened its last major roller coaster, the Smiler. For the 2018 season, Alton Towers would make the first roller coaster in the United Kingdom in over 20 years that was made of wood. This would have become known as Wickerman. This is the most recent coaster that has opened at the Towers and is a highly immersive experience and also highly themed. It helped bring crowds back after an unfortunate incident back in the 2015 season. Jewel also received a minor refurbishment and a new soundtrack in this season. The Alton Towers Dungeon was added in the building which previously housed Charlie and the Chocolate Factory The Ride, and it came as one of the first upcharge attractions to the resort. Peter Rabbit Hippity Hop was also added to the CBeebies Land. The VR from Galactica was also removed in this era, but the theming was kept. So, we are brought up to the present day. Alton Towers has offered so many memories to those who have stepped foot on the grounds in its 40 years of operation as a theme park. Regardless of their struggles and obstacles that have come in their path, Alton Towers continues to innovate and try its best to improve, as well as being one of the top theme parks in the UK and showing its reputation as a world-class theme park. What can we expect from the resort in 2020? Alton Towers will be opening a new land this year, the World of David Williams. The new land will be replacing the former Cloud Cuckoo Land at the resort. The new land will also see a new dark ride at the resort called Gangsta Granny. This ride is expected to open at the start of the season and will offer more family experiences at the resort outside of CBeebies Land. The land will also offer several small attractions as well as a new shop. It will be interesting to see how Alton Towers develops in the future and what additions will come to the park. But what has really made Alton Towers what it is today? And how have towers managed to do so well for themselves despite all their restrictions and limitations? Let's have a look by having a detailed look at all the big coasters that have come to Alton Towers over its 40 years of operating as a theme park. Corkscrew opened at Alton Towers on the 4th of April 1980. It opened to a crowd of around 30,000 people and led to the attendance of the park doubling from 500,000 in 1979 to over 1 million guests in 1980. Corkscrew was a steel roller coaster manufactured by the Dutch company Vekoma following a design from Aerodynamics. The coaster was located in the Ugland area of the park, which is now known as Dark Forest. Wait times for the attraction often reach 6 to 9 hours in length and would often cause the park to close early due to the high amount of visitors before the park closed. Corkscrew cost Alton Towers £1 million at the time and was the largest investment the park had made in its history. The layout of the coaster featured 2 inversions, both of which being corkscrews. Corkscrew had a maximum height of 75 foot and a drop of 68 foot. The ride reached a top speed of 40 miles per hour and traversed a track length of 2,460 foot in 1 minute and 30 seconds of ride time. The ride was able to reach a capacity of 1,200 guests per hour and featured a chain lift hill to carry the train to its maximum height. Corkscrew operated for 28 years before closing on the 9th of November 2008.
It's the end of an era at Alton Towers today. The Corkscrew, Europe's first double-loop roller coaster, but you knew that, is being retired after thrilling the crowds for 28 years. In its time, it's carried over 43 million riders and travelled over 820,000 miles. Well, the park is now in its closed season, but has been opened especially today for thrill seekers to have one last ride.
On this date, Alton Towers held a special event in honour of the attraction, in which Corkscrew completed its final circuit. Due to the ride's popularity, one of the coaster's carts were put up for sale on eBay. They were sold on the 15th of December 2008 for a price of £7,200. All the money was donated to charities by the towers. To remember the ride, Alton Towers kept the double corkscrew element from the ride and is now displayed at the entrance with a purple and gold colour scheme. The Black Hole opened in 1984 at the Towers. Black Hole was a steel roller coaster manufactured by Scorchoff. The ride was enclosed by a large tent which, when it opened, had a yellow and green colour scheme, but was later painted black to fit in with the new Land of X sector when Oblivion opened at the resort in 1998. Black Hole was a Jetstar 2 model and reached a maximum height of 44 foot by a spiral lift hill. The ride reached a top speed of 32 miles per hour and traversed a track length of over 1,919 feet in a ride duration of 1 minute and 50 seconds. Originally, the ride ran in the dark, but lights were later added to the ride to allow guests to prepare for the first drop. The ride closed for a refurbishment in 1988, which would allow the attraction to be modified to be able to run dual-car trains. This modified version of the ride would reopen in 1989 with the new name Black Hole 2, before being changed to the new Black Hole and then returning to its original name of the Black Hole. During its final few years of operation, the Black Hole proved to be a costly attraction to maintain and to keep operating, which led to its closure in 2005. The ride was removed, however, the tent which housed the attraction stood for many years before being removed in April 2012 to make way for its replacement, the Smiler. During the time where the tent was left empty, Alton Towers would use the space to house Scared attractions for their Scarefest event in 2011. Opening in 1990, Thunder Looper was a shuttle loop modelled by the roller coaster manufacturer Scorchoff. The ride worked based on a weight drop system, which would be one of only 4 of the type made in the world. This would launch riders to a top speed of 53 miles per hour and reach a maximum height of 138 feet. The ride would complete a loop before hitting a vertical spike, which would then send the train backwards through the same course. The riders would traverse a track length of 722 foot over the length of their ride. The ride was able to reach a capacity of around 1,400 riders per hour and was originally located in the Forbidden Valley section of the park before being relocated into the Thunder Valley section of the park. Thunder Looper proved to be a popular attraction at the resort, but due to the ride's high capacity, it often had a relatively short queue when the ride was operating. Thunder Looper had also been in multiple parks before finding its home at Alton Towers. The ride originally opened at King's Dominion as King Cobra in 1977 and closed in 1986. The ride then moved to Jolly Roger Amusement Park, where it operated from 1987 to 1989 under the same name of King Cobra. It then finally found its way to the Towers in 1990 under the new name of Thunder Looper. The ride was open until 1996, where it closed, and then the ride was removed from the resort due to its tree height restriction being broke, as well as multiple noise complaints received from the local area. It even caused cattle to breed at the wrong time of year. The ride was also relocated to Hopi Hari in 1999, where it still operates today as one of the only 2 remaining weight drop shuttle coasters by Scorchoff.
Goes up in that direction, right up to the treetops, turns, comes down here, does an upside down corkscrew under the monorail there, back down through that hole and up over the top of the station where it does a 0G roll and turns upside down. Back down there and then climbs up to the top of those trees where it does a stall turn. Drops back down again to the bottom of this hole, does a vertical loop through a tunnel, out of the tunnel there, does another corkscrew over there, into another underground tunnel under the station, another stall turn and back into the station.
Opening in 1994, Nemesis would change Alton Towers completely and be the first sign of a new world-class theme park. The ride was actually the first in Alton Towers' secret weapon naming system, which is used for all their big coasters that open at the resort. Nemesis was codenamed SW3 due to 2 failed design plans for the ride in the same location. SW1 and SW2 were both pipeline coaster designs, but were rejected by the designer of Nemesis, John Wardley, when he wrote the prototype for the pipeline coaster and found it to be slow and dull. However, Towers faced one issue with building a great layout without going above the trees. This would see Alton Towers use dynamite to create a pathway for the ride to run through, which now makes for some great near-miss elements on the ride. Nemesis would be the start of Towers' reputation for breaking records, as Nemesis would become the first inverted coaster in Europe.
2 years of planning, about £10 million, and we're about to see if this thing flies. I think I know what to expect. But no one can really tell what's going to happen. We're in the hands of Sir Isaac Newton here. We're going up the lift. No brakes, nothing. Once we're over the crown of this lift, we've just got gravity on our side. Lovely view. It's an amazing sensation. There's nothing beneath your feet. You're just hanging in space. It's... haha. Wow. Here we go. Right, we're picking up speed and we're about to enter the first inversion, the first barrel roll coming up now. Feet through the air. Wow. Now we're getting faster and faster through a helix and into a 0G roll. Oh, Wow, 3 seconds of weightlessness, a stall turn, you just stalled me, and now down, oh, vertical loop, upside down into a tunnel. Wow, you really think your feet are going to crack against the rock. Now into another barrel roll, down and into another tunnel. Wow, and into the station. I invented this thing and I'm supposed to be impervious to this kind of thing, but that was the most sensational thing I've ever done.
Nemesis was also one of the first attractions at Alton Towers to feature a detailed storyline behind the ride. The story of Nemesis is that an alien was discovered when excavating the ground on the Nemesis site, which helped the Two-Tails group to develop the surrounding area of Forbidden Valley to better suit the ride's theming and backstory. Costing over £10 million to construct, Nemesis opened its doors to the public on the 19th of March 1994. However, Nemesis did not go out with its competitors during the year. 1994 saw 3 major attractions open in the UK. This included Shockwave at Drayton Manor, which was the UK's first stand-up roller coaster, and the opening of the big one at Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which opened as the world's tallest roller coaster. Due to the scale of these attractions, 1994 became known as the year of the roller coasters for the United Kingdom. Regardless of its competition, Nemesis opened to outstanding reviews, and queue times reached over 3 hours on opening day and throughout the 1994 season. Nemesis features 4 inversions over a track length of 2,349 foot and over a ride length of 1 minute and 20 seconds. Nemesis reaches a top speed of 45 miles per hour and has a capacity of over 1,200 riders per hour. Nemesis features 2 trains, in which each train features 8 rows with 4 people across, allowing for a capacity of 32 riders per train. In 2015, Nemesis celebrated its 21st birthday, where the ride signage was updated to read Nemi 21S. With now over 25 years of operation, Nemesis has given rides to over 50 million people over its lifetime, and continues to be a fan favourite at the resort, and still features many people's favourite ride at the resort. Due to the success of Nemesis, it also inspired other coasters, such as Nemesis Inferno at Thorpe Park, and Alton Towers also opened a new attraction named Nemesis Subterra to extend on the story of Nemesis in 2012, but closed a few years later. Nemesis still often features in the top 50 steel coasters in the Golden Ticket Awards, and has won the hearts of many enthusiasts across the world. Nemesis is classified as one of the main turning points for Alton Towers, and its massive stepping stone for them evolving into a world-class theme park, attracting millions of guests through its gates every year. To this day, Nemesis still proves to be a popular attraction at the resort and a must-do attraction at the towers. It is great to see all the improvements that Alton Towers have made towards this ride and their determination to keep the ride operational.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me.
This ride is perfectly safe. Everything has been designed for your comfort and enjoyment. If this ride is so safe, why is it called Oblivion? Relax, sit back and enjoy the experience.
Don't listen to him! What happens when the ride goes underground? Have you ever seen anyone who's actually survived it and come out the other side?
It is natural to have slight feelings of anxiety at this point. Just relax and prepare for a pleasurable experience. There is no cause for concern.
Have you heard the screams? I've heard that some of the ride cars go missing!
This ride is perfectly safe.
How do we know? How do we know that some people haven't disappeared? Don't believe him! He's trying to lull you into a false sense of security!
Just stay calm. It will all be over quicker than you expect.
What will be over exactly? The ride? Your life? Have you got any idea what you're letting yourself in for?
This ride is perfectly safe. Everything has been designed for your comfort and enjoyment.
Get real! This is the world's first vertical drop roller coaster! Free fall! Straight down! You just get to the edge and that's it! You don't see what's coming? You don't know what's down there, and you may not be coming back!
Just sit back and enjoy the experience.
This is it. You're nearly at the point of no return! Hasta la vista, baby! Good night, Vienna! Get out now! While you still can!
Have a pleasant trip. See you around. Bye.
Opening in 1998, Oblivion would be the tower's next step into evolving their theme park into something unique. Oblivion was the world's first vertical drop roller coaster and was actually the prototype ride for Bolliger and Mabillard. This would be later known as a dive coaster. Leading up to Oblivion's opening in 1998, attractions in the surrounding area of Fantasy World were removed in the 1997 season, with the exception of Black Hole. During construction, Oblivion would be codenamed SW4, continuing on with the naming for big coasters which were coming to the resort. Oblivion would feature a sense of mystery due to this mysterious drop into oblivion. During the queue line of Oblivion, a sinister man explains the physical and psychological effects of oblivion, which was contradicted by a character in white who would question if the ride was actually safe. After an incident at the resort in 2015, all references to any danger were removed from the ride, as well as a complete removal of the character in white. After boarding the ride vehicle, the riders then climb a lift hill before making a left-hand turn and then stopping at the drop for around 2 to 5 seconds. Despite it being claimed as vertical, the drop is actually 87.5 degrees due to the wheels of the ride not being able to accommodate a full 90-degree drop, which is now possible on modern-day dive coasters. At this point in the ride, riders can see the catchphrase on the floor before the tunnel into oblivion, which reads, "Don't look down." The riders then drop a height of 65 foot, reaching a top speed of 68 miles per hour. Riders then emerge on the other side of the tunnel and complete an overbank turn behind Enterprise before hitting the brake run. The total length of the ride is measured from when the ride is released from the top of the drop to the final brake run is 11 seconds in length. During Oblivion's construction, actors could be seen around the site discouraging guests from seeing the construction of the ride and causing speculation towards what the new ride could be. To make Oblivion, Alton Towers had to excavate a massive hole on the site of Oblivion due to their tree height limit, which had to be completed before any track could be placed through the tunnel. The holes where the ride entered were restricted to guests by a large metal fence. However, in 2012, a guest managed to get into the tunnel of Oblivion. Luckily, the ride was stopped relatively quickly and the man was not harmed, but was arrested for trespassing and endangering other guests and staff at the resort. Despite this, Oblivion was also a great starting point for all dive coasters around the world. A similar coaster which follows some of Oblivion's theming can be found at one of Merlin's European properties, Gardaland. The ride is named Oblivion, the Black Hole, and features a white colour scheme, as well as inversions which Oblivion does not. However, Oblivion will always remain as the original dive coaster, and despite its short ride length, it is another must-do attraction at the resort. In 2002, Alton Towers opened another world's first. Manufactured by Bolliger and Mabillard, Air would open as the world's first flying coaster. This would see guests board the train at the station in a similar process to an inverted coaster. Hydraulics would then lift the cars on each train into a flying position, leaving the riders facing the floor. Air was originally planned to open in 1998, but due to the new concept, the ride was delayed until 2002. To design the ride, Alton Towers would once again consult the designs of John Wardley. Codename SW5, construction for Air commenced in the middle of the 2001 season. Air was once again a large investment for the park, costing the same price to construct as Oblivion, at a price tag of £12 million. Opening on the 16th of March 2002, Air opened to a great reception of guests who wanted to see this brand new type of attraction. The ride also opened under a 5-year sponsorship with Cadbury's Heroes. Over a ride duration of 1 minute and 40 seconds, guests would reach a maximum height of 66 foot and a top speed of 47 miles per hour. Air features 2 inversions over its course and is able to achieve a capacity of over 1,500 guests per hour, with up to 3 trains in operation at one time. In the 2015 season, Air will receive a major update to its theming. This would see the ride adopt the new name of Galactica. Galactica would be the world's first roller coaster fully dedicated to virtual reality. This would see the old air shop be converted into what is now known as Roller Coaster Restaurant, and would also see a new smaller shop built to the side of the restaurant. Galactica followed a space theme in which guests would fly around the galaxy. More theming was added around the ride, including the addition of a portal at the bottom of the first drop, as well as a new soundtrack from Iron Score. However, there were many complaints and issues with the virtual reality on the ride. This would see an increase in guests wanting to ride the attraction without virtual reality, and even led up to its removal in March 2019. The update to Galactica would also see the removal of on-ride photos, and would pay for an inline photo booth which would take a picture of the guest in a spacesuit. Many think that since the virtual reality was removed from Galactica, that the ride should return to its original theme of Air, but the ride continues to follow the space theme to the present day. Whilst the ride operates without virtual reality, there are now less issues, but when it did, there was a lot of issues with capacity, as the virtual reality had to be cleaned for each ride, which slowed down the operations on the ride, and would often see the ride in much larger queues than what it received as Air. Galactica also helped to bring more attractions into the Forbidden Valley area of the park when it opened as Air in 2002, operating alongside Nemesis in the same area. Although it could be said that the 2 themes of the roller coasters clash and makes for a great area of the park, and Galactica still proves to be a popular attraction at the resort. Galactica also helped to make a brand new innovation into theme parks, just like Oblivion before it. It also helped us to see a brand new flying coasters open across the world. Opening in 2005 was Rita Queen of Speed. The ride opened in the Thunder Rock Valley section of the park, which was located next to the existing Bugland area at the park. The area is now known as Dark Forest. The ride sees riders launch from a speed of 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.5 seconds. Manufactured by Intamin, Rita opened to the public on 1st of April 2005. The ride sees riders reach a top height of 60 foot over a track length of 2,100 foot, over a ride duration of 25 seconds. Inspired by the theming of drag racing, small links to the sport can be found in the ride's theming, such as the tyre at the entrance to the main queue line. In 2009, Rita received some updates after the removal of Corkscrew and the addition of 13. This saw the land of Bugland and Thunder Rock Valley being rethemed into Dark Forest. This also saw Rita lose the name of Queen of Speed, part of his title, and would use the name of just Rita, which it still does to this day. The ride was also rethemed as if you were trying to escape the Dark Forest, and the trains of the ride received a slight repaint to better suit the area of Dark Forest. Rita would also help inspire another ride of the same style in the UK, which would see the opening of Stealth in 2006 at Thorpe Park. Rita was also renamed for one day on the 9th of April in 2005 to Camilla, Queen of Speed, to celebrate the marriage of Prince Charles and Camilla. Rita opened at a cost of £8 million, but it's classified as one of the weaker attractions at the resort. Rita did not also follow the secret weapon coding used for the rides before it, and would be the only recent ride to not follow this naming process. Opening in 2010, 13 would be another world's first attraction for the resort. 13 would also be the first ride to follow a more sinister theme, which can now be seen with a lot of the new additions that Merlin brings to its parks, such as Alton Towers and Thorpe Park. Opening on the 20th of March 2010, there was a lot of speculation as to what the mystery part of the ride could be. A huge marketing campaign was used by the resort, which showed the ride's sinister theme. It was even rumoured by the park that riders would have to be over 16 to experience the ride due to its dark theme, as well as being required to sign a waiver of liability before riding, but this was not the case. Replacing Corkscrew, 13 had a lot to live up to. Groundwork for the ride began in 2009. Codename SW6, it was built on the old site of Corkscrew and followed a simple layout through the forest. Although many classify the ride as a family coaster, the ride also features a secret feature which would be later known to be a vertical drop, in which the track that the train sits on drops vertically before sending riders backwards through a pitch-black tunnel.
Well, that ride was a bit timid. At least it's time now to get off. Apparently, little jolt there. Okay, let's get up. Ah! Oh! Oh! Ah!
Alton Towers would once again consult Intamin for the construction of 13, which they had used in 2005 for the construction of Rita. Over a duration of 1 minute and 40 seconds, 13 reaches a top height of 65 foot and reaches a top speed of 42 miles per hour over a track length of 2,480 foot. The opening of 13 would also bring the new themed area of Dark Forest, which also saw Rita rethemed to better fit this part of the area. The Smiler would be another world's first for the resort. Codename SW7, initial plans were submitted for the ride in December 2011. This would see Alton Towers use a new manufacturer for the ride, as well as a brand new model from the company. The park would utilise Gerstlauer to manufacture the ride, and the type would earn the name of the Infinity Coaster. Utilising the area which used to house the black hole, construction for the ride commenced in late 2012. This would see Alton Towers launch a new website in which people could register to receive updates on the ride's construction and development. A competition for the first to ride was also launched in July of 2012. A huge marketing campaign was also launched by the park, with teaser videos placed on YouTube and the ride's logo projected across the UK. They saw the ride's logo on buildings across London and Leeds, and the logo even being projected onto Big Ben. The teasers would also introduce a group called the Ministry of Joy, who are carrying out this experiment of guests. The Smiler is supposed to be their way of correcting guests to an ideal lifestyle where they cannot stop smiling, hence the name of the Smiler. Originally, the layout for the Smiler was planned to have 18 versions, and more of a steampunk theme to the ride, but both of these were later changed. The Smiler would become the world's first 14-version roller coaster when it opened on the 31st of May 2013. Originally planned to open on the 16th of March 2013, the opening of the Smiler was pushed back due to technical issues with the ride. In January 2013, the ride was revealed to the public, and the opening date was set in May. An app was also launched by Alton Towers, which showed a 3D recreation of the ride, where users could unlock elements that would feature on the ride. Users were also able to unlock elements by QR scanners in the queue line of the ride when it opened in May 2013. However, the app has since been discontinued. At the same time of the launch of the app, Alton Towers released previews of the ride's merchandise. This ride also received issues during the initial day in May when it was supposed to open, until the ride officially opened on the 31st of May 2013. The Smiler features a giant centre structure nicknamed the Marmalizer, which features 5 legs all designed to marmalise riders. Over a ride length of 2 minutes and 45 seconds, riders traverse 2 lift hills and 14 inversions. Riders experience a drop of 98 foot and reaches top speed of 52 miles per hour. When a train is dispatched from the station, riders can hear a voice of which says "Join us," followed by flashing lights and a smoke before making a 100-degree downwards turn to the left, before experiencing their first inversion, a heartline roll. Riders then stop at the bottom of the first lift hill. Over the rest of the course, riders experience 13 other inversions and 2 moments of ejector airtime. After the first lift hill, riders experience a corkscrew followed by 2 consecutive dive loops before entering a batwing. The train then goes through a second corkscrew before hitting the mid-course brake run. Riders then ascend up a vertical lift hill and then go through a downwards corkscrew followed by a sea serpent roll before entering a cobra roll and ending the ride with 2 consecutive corkscrews. All this adds up to a total of 14 inversions. The Smiler costs £18 million to construct, and it proved to be very popular with guests, and it often received queues of over 3 hours in its first 2 years of operation. However, in 2015, a horrific accident happened on the ride which would affect the park's reputation and attendance. The following clips may contain images that may be sensitive to some viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. If you wish to skip this part, please skip to the time now shown on your screen.
It's dubbed the most terrifying roller coaster ride on Earth. This afternoon at 2:09, the terror became reality. 16 people were in the carriage which collided with an empty car on the Smiler roller coaster. 4 teenagers have serious leg injuries.
People were screaming and shouting, and even after it had stopped, it was again still screaming and shouting. But then everyone around the park also ran over, so it all gathered together pretty quickly.
On the 2nd of July 2015, the Smiler was operating over its advised wind conditions. The Smiler had just gone down due to technical issues. During the downtime, ride staff added a 5th train to the ride as the park was very busy. After this, a test train was sent around the track, and it stalled in the batwing element of the ride. At this point, the ride was reopened to guests, and the first train was loaded with guests. Mechanics were unaware that a 5th train had been added to the ride. The second train full of guests stopped at the top of the first lift hill as intended. Mechanics checked the location of 4 trains they believed to be in operation. Since they did not know the location of the 5th train, the ride was given the all clear to be sent, and the train was released from the top of the first lift hill. This train then collided with the stalled train at around a speed of 20 miles per hour, injuring 16 guests on the train and severely injuring the front 4 passengers. A large investigation was put into place on why this happened, and it was discovered to be a human fault and nothing to do with the safety of the ride, despite the media showing it to be unsafe. The ride spent the rest of the 2015 season closed, and Merlin Entertainments were fined £5 million for endangering guests at their resort. The accident also led to other attractions of a similar type being closed at Merlin Parks, such as Thorpe Park and Chessington World of Adventures. All of these rides eventually reopened while the Smiler remained closed. The Smiler eventually reopened in 2016 with new safety improvements. A lot of people are still scared around the Smiler due to the incident. However, the ride has proved to be safe and has not had an incident since. Alton Towers has been more keen to put the incident behind them, as it has taken a lot more precautions in making the park a safer place to be. If you are still scared of rides, your chances of any injury are minimal. You are over 3 times as likely to be injured while driving to a theme park than you are at the actual theme park. Since the incident, Alton Towers has removed any references to their rides being unsafe, including references to normalisation of the ride and updates to some of the queue line videos that were able to be seen on Oblivion. Regardless of the incident, the Smile proves to be a popular attraction at the resort, as well as being a must-do attraction for enthusiasts and guests all around the world. The ride still often features queues of over 60 minutes and above, and has outclassified Alton Towers as a world-class theme park. Opening as the first wooden coaster in over 20 years for the UK, Wickerman opened its doors to the public on the 20th of March 2018. Located in Mutiny Bay, Wickerman replaced the Flume, which used to operate at the resort. Wickerman would hold a Strange World's first title, but nonetheless was capitalised by Merlin as the first wooden coaster to mix wood and fire. Codenamed SWA, construction for Wickerman commenced in 2017. During construction, a large tarpaulin was placed around the large theming element to the ride. This would later be revealed to be a large wicker structure with two faces, one side being a man and the other resembling a ram's head. During 2017 Scarefest, Alton Towers opened a scare maze called The Welcoming, Be Chosen, which gave hints towards the theming of Wickerman. Teasers for the ride were also released on Alton Towers' YouTube channel, which showed the previous secret weapons that came to the resort and hinted towards the new coaster at the resort. On the 8th of January 2018, the official logo and name for the ride would be announced. To promote the ride, Alton Towers would project the new logo onto the London Eye. Wickerman would also see Alton Towers utilise another new manufacturer, Great Coasters International, otherwise known as GTI. Multiple parts of the ride's layout features enclosed tunnels due to sound restrictions at the resort. Wickerman would also show how well Alton Towers were able to theme a ride, as well as their ability to make a good backstory. As guests walk up to the ride, they can see the huge Wickerman structure before entering the queue line. Guests then experience a pre-show before the ride, which tells them about the sacrifice they are about to make to the Wickerman before entering the heavily themed station, where they board one of 3 ride trains. Riders then ascend a chain lift hill and make a 270-degree left-hand turn before experiencing a 72-foot drop. Riders reach a top speed of 43 miles per hour over a ride duration of 1 minute and 50 seconds and traverse a track length of 2,608 foot. During this, riders also go through the Wickerman structure a total of 3 times during their ride experience. Wickerman is able to reach a capacity of around 1,000 guests per hour. Alton Towers also utilised John Worley once again to help with the design of Wickerman, as the initial layout was criticised by him for having a bad first drop and the ride lacking any thrill factor. The ride provided a big attraction for the area of Mutiny Bay and helped bring popularity back to the resort after the incident with the Smile in 2015. Wickerman proved to be very popular in its opening years and will be celebrating its 3rd year of operation in the 2020 season. Alton Towers continues to innovate with their new attractions and improve their resort, which makes people question what their next big investment will be. With the opening of the World of David Walliams in 2020, we could see a park targeted more towards family attractions, or the park launching back into the film market. Whatever route the park takes, the future of Alton Towers is hopeful and bright, and Alton Towers has constantly proved themselves as a world-class theme park and created great memories in many people's lives. Alton Towers is loved by many people to this day and constantly proves us with new investments and are at the forefront of innovation and technology. Thank you for watching this documentary on Alton Towers, Tale of the Towers. I would like to give a big thanks to Towers Times and articles on Wikipedia for a massive help towards this documentary. All the coasters and some of their attractions have much more detailed history to them, and I would recommend Expedition Theme Park to learn more about each of these rides that were featured in this video. I've left this link in the description below, so go and check them out if you'd like to learn a bit more information about all of the rides at Alton Towers Resort. If you'd like to see all the contributions that were made towards this documentary, they will be in the credits of this video. If you have any ideas for future documentaries you would like me to do, please comment below. Please also share and like this video if you enjoyed, as it took a lot of effort and dedication. Thank you for watching, and here's to the future of Alton Towers.